Okay, well, I wonder where Dr. Karen's office is. So exciting. Just looking forward to this opportunity to talk with Dr. Karen.
Dr. Talisa.
Why, hello. It's so good to see you. Thank you so
I was just
much.
finishing up with the client.
Oh. So you know what, Dr. Karen, it's so great to see you. And I love the coat that you had on before. I noticed that. And I remember when you were coaching me, because you know, you were my executive leadership coach that has been so instrumental in my growth. We could talk about that a little bit later on, because you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, maybe not today. But a lot of our sessions were on Zoom, right? But now, like in person, I just saw you, like you had on your coat. Can you tell me a little bit more about the coat? And by the way, you look fabulous.
Oh my goodness, that makes two of us.
Oh, well, thank you. Tell me a little bit more about your coat. Like, you're wearing your coat, the lab coat. Can you tell us about what you do? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, so MK Circle CEO Institute is actually a program within MK Circle Enterprises. And so MK Circle CEO Institute is an organization that we have three functions of our organization, three divisions, should I say. You know, and the first one is executive coaching. So like what you were just talking about, we do executive coaching. And so kind of tied to the lab coat. The lab coat is because we believe we're in lab, we're teaching and we're learning through a process. And so we're just very serious about what we do and very serious about our clients. So what you saw me in was my lab coat that I do when I'm in the midst of coaching a client. And our second division is we have organizational counseling and individual counseling. And then we have small business coaching as well. And then we also do all leadership trainings for really all sectors. I mean, we're not a respecter of persons in our work. Who needs to be led and helped, we're here for that. So that's the lab coat.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you for explaining that to us. And I'm just going to say how much the Quantum 10 appreciates you and your forever ongoing sponsorship.
Absolutely.
This is the 4th annual, right?
I can't believe it.
Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it started way back and you have been here with us since day one? Right? And so we started off the first year and you had an amazing topic for us and we just kept going. I think that one might have been the equity, what is equity?
Right.
The topics. You've had us with refresh and renew.
Right.
Last year, I think we had the culture of care, the magnitude of mindset. Is that correct?
Really talk about mindset, because you know that's a part of your will.
Yes.
Keep it tied as a part of that will, of the Q10 will. And yeah, mindset is a big one.
It is a really big one. So thank you. So we just talked about 3 of the annuals, and we're moving into the 4th annual. Can you give us a little sneak preview of what we might expect from you as a keynote this year?
Absolutely. Well, let me first say though that, you know, the moment you shared with me about Q10 and the reason why Q10 was in what you felt was needed, and then I heard the premise and what you talked about of what was missing in education, of course I agreed immediately. And so our sponsorship and support is totally due to your vision and what you see, how our educational system should be, where our educational system has gaps, and you are working to fill those. And so it is just, that's the reason why we definitely support, and I will be here every year as long as you'll have us.
I will keep you. Thank you. And the beautiful flyers. We definitely have a Passionate Pro that does a lot of our flyers, a lot of our videos and everything. But we also have MK Circle that does a lot of our promotional materials too. So we thank you for that sponsorship.
We believe in what you're doing.
Yeah. So thank you. So tell us a little bit about this year, like 4th annual. You're going to be keynoting for us. I think you're going to be keynoting for us on day 2 on the 8th in the morning.
Wonderful.
The morning opening session.
Yeah. Good. So bright eye, bushy tail.
Yes.
Yes. So it's interesting. This year we wind up finding themes throughout our year, and so I wind up having, when I am out speaking, there's always a theme that kind of comes out at the beginning of the year that we look at as a team of what's necessary, what's needed, or where we think again there's gaps or blind spots. And the one that has resonated for us in 2023 that, of course, another will go on, and it very much ties, of course, into the Q10 space, is generations, right? And so it's really about leading through generations.
Okay, leading through generations. I love that. Tell us a little more. I'm excited.
So, there are 5 generations that are in the workforce right now.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
5. People think it's 3. But our traditionalists are still there. So if we were to talk about the generations, right? There's traditionalists, boomer, Xer, millennial, and Z.
Centennials, yeah.
And all of those individuals are in the workforce right now, right? Now, what you're teaching are the alpha generation, right? And they're in some of the Z's. So you're teaching Z's, and some of the babies are the alpha gen. And so I think we have gotten lost in the generations sometimes, because us as teachers, us as leaders, we're not in that generation, but we are living in that generation. Right? We are living currently in the Gen Alpha generation.
Wow.
And not recognizing that and thinking that we're still living in our generation is where the disconnect of generations happen. Right? And then with that, we're bringing our own traumas from our generations, as well as our children are experiencing their own traumas. Right? And so when you start looking at what that happens, where does the gap, where do we bridge those gaps, and where do we open the doors, where do we point out the blind spots? And as you got me started.
I got you started. I wasn't going to interrupt, because I was like, we getting it right now. We're getting it up close and personal right now.
So it will be talking about how do we lead through generations, but then also paying attention to the traumas that are there within our generations, and how do we first be aware of them, and then how do we work at overcoming them and building and shifting to a place where things are better for our students as well as for our teachers, our administrators, because I'm all about the teachers, administrators. You all are about the children and taking care of children.
Right.
I think it's so important for somebody to be about you.
Yes. Thank you. We do need to take care of ourselves.
Yes, that's what I do. That's our job. We look at the leadership and say, what is happening here, and how do we support the leadership?
Beautiful. I'm excited already, and I cannot wait to hear you speak, first of all. So thank you again. I'm looking forward to it. Again, we talked a little bit about sponsorship, and I wanted to point out, I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of our sponsors first and foremost. We have some major sponsors, and I'll say that Footsteps to Freedom is one of our major sponsors. We had a reception, a great turnout, and people were interested in knowing what's next. So we'll have some strands, just so that maybe you want to sneak into one of the strands for the Footsteps to Freedom strand. And so thanks to our partners with Footsteps to Freedom that we are kicking off this conference in person too. So I didn't want to miss that, but I also didn't want to miss the opportunity to tell you that we're going to have a couple of sessions on Footsteps to Freedom, so that people could talk about what's next. Because we went on that study tour, and we do know what's next. We have to change some things, but organizationally and systems wide, what do we do next, and how do we implement some of the things from our learnings into our systems? So that's another thing that we can look forward to. So I just wanted to tell you about that, since we're talking a little bit about the conference.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so thank you. I hope that you join us on the 6th. You're actually speaking on December 8th.
Yes.
But the conference actually starts, even though we said the 7th and 8th, those are the definite days.
Yeah.
We're having a pre-session. Right. And so I wanted to make sure you knew about the pre-session. The pre-session is on December 6th.
Yes.
And we're going to have a reception immediately following that. So I wanted to kind of tell people that they're going to learn more about Quantum 10, what it's about. Right. You talked about trauma. We'll get into how to integrate the practices, so that when our students are experiencing any type of injustice or trauma or any of that we know how those practices integrate in order to ensure that our kids have everything that they need. You also mentioned leadership, and so it's not even just for our kids to know, but for our leaders. Our leaders learn about it, and they're able to implement those things in their own daily practices.
Absolutely.
So wanted to share that a little bit.
Another good one.
Yeah, so we'll see. Well, hopefully we'll get to have you for like a few days. So that'd be cool.
So the plan is definitely to, again, now that we're in person, right? So by Quantum 10 being in person, the exciting part about that is that we'll have a booth.
Yes.
Right, so I have our team, some of our team members will be there.
Okay.
And we'll have our booth or our table, however the setup is for the vendor area, but we'll be there. So with that, yes, the plan is definitely to be there on the 6th and throughout the duration of the conference. So I'm yes, because usually I'm like on screen and I'm off, right?
Yes.
So this is great that we'll be able to interact with some of the again, some of the administrators, some of the teachers.
Yes.
We're excited about having that opportunity to connect with the individuals in person. So yes, we will be present.
Well, that is super exciting. So I'm going to tell you one more thing that we'll have going on at the conference, since you'll be there all days. We are going to do an awards. Like, we want to do an awards. We have so many amazing, individuals and leaders that are courageous in our world. I'll say it that way, because we're not just looking at education. We're looking at Quantum Impact Courageous Leadership Awards. And so we're looking at courageous leaders from different sectors, the business sector, society, those individuals that are in education, some people that are in any type of leadership. And so we're going to be advertising that shortly. So you can send that out to some of your clients too.
Absolutely.
And so people who want to attend the conference, definitely, but if they're not attending the conference, then maybe they'll have someone they want to nominate, and those individuals will be nominated to receive an award for a Quantum Impact Courageous Leadership Award. So we're going to be doing that during those times. So you'll get a chance to experience that as well. So isn't that exciting?
Dr. T, you are doing some amazing things. As I said, this is why we believe in your work, because you see what is needed in our educational system and even beyond, right? You're talking about your business partners and the others that it takes a village, right? It takes a village, not only though to support our students, it takes a village to support you all as well.
Yeah.
And I think we just forget about the leadership and the administrators and the teachers sometimes. And so that's why I thank you for having this type of conference for them, right? For them to feel and get filled, actually, with information and be able to use some information, like you said, and apply some of the things that they'll be getting. So, again, we're more than happy to support. We're excited to be there. I'm really excited to be a keynote speaker again. I'm excited.
I love it.
4th annual. So we're ready to support.
Thank you. I want to encourage you to continue to just pour into us as we will allow for you to pour in. I'm excited about that. I'm hopeful to have lots of people registering. We have an early registration period right now, and the end of it is coming up soon. And so we're hopeful that people will start to register to get that early price. But if not, then they can still register after the fact. And our registration is just $549. We have our pre-session, which will be $199 for those coming. So it'll be an additional price. So I think it comes up to something like $650 total for the pre-session and for the entire conference.
That's wonderful.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes, that is. And that's reasonable. When we think about conferences, that is reasonable for what they're about to receive.
Yeah, they're going to get this. And
they are about
topics to come soon online.
To get a treat.
Love it. And I just want to let you know that you can let your audience know that if they go to our website at www.q10equityandeducation.com, they will be able to register today for that total price that we talked about before. Registration is open and going. The conference is December 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and everyone else come through.
Well, we're excited to be there. And yes, we're already promoting.
Thank you. I
worry.
appreciate
We're
that.
already sending out our email blasts. We're already sending out our social media posts. So yeah, they're getting it from our side for sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the time that you've taken to speak with us. And I wanted to say, I don't even think I said that this is a beautiful office space, and I am super excited that I got a chance to spend the morning with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thanks for coming and being here in our space. Again, we love the work we do, and it only makes sense that we're connected.
Absolutely.